Hi guys, in this tutorial we're going to show you how to use the contract management section of RazorERP. You're going to start out, you're going to go to recycling and you will go to contract management. Now this will list all the open contracts for our various accounts and you'd be able to see which contract names are available. There's a filter section on the left that'll allow you to show active, expired, or archived, or you could decide if you only want to see one or select them all. Now we're going to get started. We're going to create a new contract. You'll go to the top right, hit add, and we're going to choose the customer name that we are going to make the contract for. You'll select an owner. We'll have a contract name, so we'll call this contract deval and grading for this example. Typically you're going to do a start date, so if you want to say start on the 1st, and end date, if it's a multi-year contract, you could set that up and it'll tell you how many days are available. For SLA time, you're going to select the SLA time here, so this could be 14 days from either the order date or the receipt of the material. Typically you're going to want to do the SLA on the receipt, so when the material hits the docks. For your billing customer, you could use the same name typically, so we'll do that. Billing cycle start date, we'll say it starts on the 1st, and we do monthly billing. Down below, you could ignore the logo presets, it's just a default setting. Commodity pricing, now this is one of the more important tabs, so we'll select the commodities and you'll be able to decide if you're going to do fair market value templates. So your fair market value templates are essentially some of your FMV pricing for products. So if you had preset determined pricing for the year, the month, on what you're paying for different types of resale items, you could do that. In this case, we're going to do this FMV complex demo, and that's the template we'll use for this selection. And for the grade devals, we're going to select a default. Now, just to show you what the FMV pricing templates look like, we're going to open that up in a sec. And now below, we're going to start adding different commodities. So potentially, you had mixed electronics coming in. We're going to add in laptops. So here you'll be able to determine what types of products you're going to bring in and for what price. And this will be able to streamline some of the receiving process for the receiving team. So if you have these types of selections or on the contract you discussed with your client, you'll be able to restrict those commodities so they'll be the only options seen by the receiving team. So that's helpful if you need to, classify the material properly and streamline the settlement process. Now, one of the nice things with that FMV pricing, we're going to show you over here. So we're going to look at the FMV complex demo. When we edit this, you'll be able to see you're able to set up some pretty broad ranges of pricing. So in this case, we have rule set, anything that's an i5 second gen, 8 gigabytes of memory. We're going to pay $60. If it's i5 third gen with 16 gigs, we'll pay $100. So this is just to give an example of how you set up those rules and what type of pricing options you have. So this could, cover a very broad range of options, from desktops that have third gen selections of i5 and memory that's 16 gig. Now you can see below, you could also mix in monitors and whatever you have, you'll have the ability to add in specific attribute rules. In this case, we did 19-inch LCD monitors. We're paying $10. So there's another video on the whole FMV setup, but that gives you a good idea of what type of pricing will be selected for that contract. Next, we're going to take a look at some of these commodities. So a lot of times when you're setting it up, you're going to set up the requirements and pricing. For lot receiving, you could preset item count defaults. Or force the receiving team to collect the item count. You could force pictures. Over here, for an audit fee, we could charge either $5 per item for an audit, force the collection of a serial number. Over here, we have data erasure fees. So if you wanted to charge a $5 data erasure fee and you wanted to do it NIST 888 clear and force the verification during the auditing step, that's how you'll do that. Now, if there's any, let's say, destruction of the drives and you had to do shredding, $3 per shred, and you could force the verification. If not, you don't have to select it. Once you're done, you hit OK. That'll apply the rules for the whole order. Under services, you're going to be able to add different services. So over here, you'll have your certificate of recyclings. You know, if you wanted to charge a flat fee of, you know, $150, you could charge $150 per order. If there was any disposal or freight fees, you would include that in the services. Under work instructions, these are going to be your preset work instructions. So, you know, if you know, check and verify computers have hard drives. This will be included on the inbound order and overwrite the rules for the work instructions, so it'll be visible for the receiving side. Now, consignment, you could also create a consignment contract, which we will review in another video, but essentially you're adding in a consignment contract, and you could do what the flat split, or you could do a tiered split, which would allow you to say anything from 0 to 100 is a 50% split. Anything from 100 to, say, max is a 65% split. So depending on what your options are and how you want to set that up, it's very flexible. Now, under files, if you had any files that you wanted to add, you could add the files here and then share that out to the client portal. So that's how you set up a contract.